Oh, take me away. Take me away. We don't care what the people say. Am I a musician yet? Oh, guys, I've been doing F scale for piano. That's been tough for me. I feel like we haven't hung out in a little bit. I don't know. It's been a second because I took the few weeks off before the debate. So I feel like I just haven't shared my life with you guys in a little bit. Now, then everyone's spurging out on Twitter. Here's another one. And, I'm not shocked. It's destiny looking men, black guys, and women. Yeah, I'm not that shocked. Oh, 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 oh. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about my life because I feel like we haven't hung out in a bit. Let me think. I tried a laser treatment. I don't know if I should say this because my haters will probably use it against me, but it just kind of is what it is. And I'll tell you guys, that was the most painful thing I've ever done. Never again. Oh my God. I didn't really know what a laser was. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't Google it, but I was like, it'll probably be fine. They were like, oh, it helps regrow the new skin. And I'm like, oh, cool. Did not realize you have to burn off the old skin. I'm like, damn. All right, let's see. So I rewrote, I'm going to show you guys a song I rewrote. I hate how simpy most music is. When I Was Your Man. So I rewrote, sometimes for fun, I'll rewrite simp songs. I will rewrite simp songs. Yeah, here we go. So this is same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. 'Cause my heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like ooh, ooh. Too young, too dumb to realize that I don't need no flowers. Don't need to hold your hand. Don't need all your hours. 'Cause you're a hard-working man. I don't need to party. I don't need to dance. Now my man is dancing, but he's dancing with another woman. Hold on, I gotta scroll. The lyrics are on the screen. Okay, ready? My pride, my ego, my needs, and my selfish ways cause a good, strong man like you to walk out my life. now I'll never get to clean up the mess I made. Oh, and it haunts me every time I close my eyes. It all just sounds like ooh, ooh. Too young, too dumb to realize, damn it, realize that I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. I don't need all your hours, 'cause you're a hardworking man. I don't need to party, I don't need to dance. Now my man is dancing, but he's dancing with another woman. Although it hurts, I'll be the first to say I was wrong. Oh, I know I'm probably much too late to try and apologize for my mistakes, but I just want you, oh damn it, want you to know, damn it, oh my God, no, I didn't hit it. You see, this is why I get stage fright. If this happens here, I don't really care, right? I mean, this is the stream. This is the stream. But on a stage, it's like I see all of you. It was different in person. It was different in person. You know what I mean? So how I would end the song. Oh, I don't need no flowers. Don't need to hold your hand. Don't need all your hours. If you give me one more chance. I don't need to party, I don't need to dance. I'll do all the things I should have did when I was your woman. Do all the things I should have did when I was your woman. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, stop it, you guys. You shouldn't have. Encore. I realized that I think I have a lot of people that haven't seen me from the beginning that are here. And because, you know, when you do these type of debates, right, you get a lot of people that I don't think really understand like what you're about. Oh, yeah. Ring of Fire. I'm currently learning to play an F major scale. I've been taking piano lessons. You know, I only started playing piano a year ago, other than like just a few chords. Am I racist? I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day if I was racist. You know, because I think I could just do a show going over the things people say about me. I think maybe I could start with that. As a woman, I got to make it about me. Because I was thinking about this. I'm like, am I racist if I do believe that black people commit more crimes and do ghetto shit, but I love them? Like I'm fatigued, but I love them. Like I'll come to the cookout. We can hang out. I love you guys. But please stop committing crimes. Please stop committing. It's like women, you know, you guys are chill. We can hang out. But please stop. Please stop. You know what I mean? Like, please stop doing women shit. I beg you. I plead for you to stop doing women shit. Am I cool with Myron and Fresh? I heard Fresh has been talking shit about me. I don't know if he has or he hasn't. I don't care enough to look. But I thought we were cool. I really thought we were cool. We could not be. Honestly, I've probably shot a few years ago. I talked shit about them and there was a whole beef and it was my fault. So this was so ancient history. I'm talking like 4 or 5. So if he still has bad blood from that, I wouldn't blame him. Yeah, and a lot of people say that like they say, Pearl, you think women are bad at everything. And I'm like, I would love to be proven wrong. I really would love to. And I think that's where like a lot of these commentators, again, they come from an ivory tower. Is what I've been saying. They want to be able to dictate your reality and what you've seen. And I just have not seen women be good at things. I wish we were better at things, but we just can't. So I do think it would be helpful to let, the new people on the stream know exactly what I'm about. Thank you for the super chat. I totally appreciate it. So my goal is always to be as accurate as possible and figure out what's true. I have found this very difficult in today's society because women really do want to confuse you. That is women's goal. Women are experts at gaslighting. Let me find the definition of gaslighting. A form of psychological abuse where a person or group makes someone question their sanity, perception, reality, or memories. So that would be like saying, and people have different realities, right? Different life experiences. And I do respect other people's life experiences. However, my life experience has just been that women are kind of bitches and they're not good at much. Black people, kind of the same thing. Women aren't very nice. They're not very nurturing. I wish we were better at things. Being a woman, I got to be honest, being a woman is kind of like being a woman's like, I don't know. So when I was growing up, I was a Cubs fan. Not because I cared about baseball, but my dad was a Cubs fan and my mom was a Cubs fan. And up until I think I was in college, the Cubs were just the worst team ever. Like we lost. I think the Bears are good this year, but Chicago sports, when I was growing up, we never won anything. We would lose everything. And that's how I feel about being a woman. You can get the top draft picks. You can get all the extra help, but we just suck. And I think a lot of people think that I'm being facetious or I'm trying to troll when I say this. It doesn't help that if a woman's being really bitchy to me, I kind of shut down and stop talking, Yeah, you showed up with heart. Your opponent showed up with all the tricks. It doesn't help me, right? It doesn't help when I get, it is what it is. So I could see how the public tends to perceive me as just trolling, being facetious. But the challenge is women just keep proving me right. And it's even worse when they try not to prove you right. They prove you right more. I'll give you an example. And we had the best basketball player of all time. We did, but that was in 1996. That was the year I was born. So I don't know. From my memory, Chicago never was good at sports. That's from my memory. Okay. I'm not that close to what, yeah. So, and what'll happen is, they give us all of these they give women all these free scholarships, and yet we still can't get into STEM, right? When they say here, they have all these programs for women in STEM, and then women go into STEM and we quit. And even my family, they think I'm a little extreme, right? My dad, he's like, I think you blame too much on women. You make it too much women and men. And, I said, Dad, women control 85% of consumer spending. And I said, Dad, that's a lot of power. I think it's actually pretty logical that people are going to cater to their customers. Like, doesn't that kind of make sense? Like, wouldn't it make sense that the academic institutions, they know women will pay more for college, so they would kind of cater to what women want? I'm like, and even I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, you indirectly were paid by women because they sold software to what do you call it? They sold software to like plumbers and that kind of thing. And I'm like, who hires plumbers? Women. And I was thinking about how that debate was almost proving us right. Because really, I lost the debate, right? And I did suck, but she also sucked. Nobody was good. If you watch the men's debate, there's like little pauses. They're like going back and forth. And the women, I'm like, even when we try to beat the stereotypes, we are the stereotypes. And so really my goal is always to be as accurate as possible. And it has to match what I've seen in the real world. Women say a lot of stupid things, but men only say stupid things like money can't buy happiness. I actually agree with that statement. Money cannot buy happiness. And the reason is because money, there is nothing worse than a nagging wife. I'm actually going to add that into my monologue today. I'm going to add that because, all right, because that's actually a good point that I want to discount. Money cannot buy happiness. Okay, so let me see. All right. I actually wanted to go through first before we get to the monologue, which is about nagging. I don't want to do this. Do you want to go monologue? Doug MPA. I wanted to go through a few stats that were very deceptive during the debate. I wanted to go through a few, while everyone came at me, even though I asked to have them submitted ahead of time, which she declined. I asked to do that. And while they came at me, her stats were incorrect and deceptive. But when they say it on a stage in front of millions of people, how am I supposed to check it on the fly? Like, how am I supposed? Anyways, which Doug MPA, I'm going to give you the final monologue first. And he said monologue first. And then at the end, we can go through divorce stats at the end. All right. Let's talk about nagging. Let's talk. I get a little distracted sometimes with the chat, and I do want to stay on topic. I lost because I was at my own mental point of origin, probably. After the monologue, do the stats. All right, Doug. BV. Who's BV? I don't know who that is. I don't care. Okay. So, someone in the chat said that money cannot buy happiness and that men only say stupid things like money can't buy happiness. Ellie, what are you chewing? Hold on. Ellie, okay, hold on. We're going to play my divorce documentary. Hold on. In it. My dog is chewing a box, and that is In It for Men. I need to go get her a bone. Give me a second. All right, let me put this on 1X. We're going to play this trailer. Give me 1 second, then we'll talk about nagging. All right. Also, I might do a call-in so people can call in. All right, let's see. We're going to make this full screen. Give me 1 second.
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question. Do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no.
Because men are useless.
This headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not.
Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men.
The future is female. Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the trad con versus red pill thing.
This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly Things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence.
When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back?
On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street.
We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family into marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, free shreds, have an abortion. What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail.
Right.
Like if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends, no wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, or alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
Culture is telling men, you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K, 300K,
200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it.
When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop?
I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you simp for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, is there is no future.
We go into population decline and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
All right, that's the trailer for our divorce documentary. There is a link in the description for it if you want to donate, or you can, message me privately. If you are an editor or you're an app builder, 2 things we're hiring for this month. Thanks for your work. $50 super chat. Oh, you're too nice. You guys are you're too much. All right. So the definition of nagging: a person constantly harassing somebody to do something, or painfully, persistently worrying. So I did a compilation of nagging. Now, a lot of times women, when we want to argue or debate, we have a tendency to use the tactics, the female tactics. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. Shame, guilt, insult, need to be right, nagging. I'm going to add nagging. Shame, guilt, insult, need to be right, and nagging. Shaming, a painful feeling of humiliating or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. Guilting, making someone feel guilty, especially in order to induce them to do something. So remember, feminism uses guilt against men. It says women are victims, uses guilt to get whatever they want. I'm being raped. Let's throw men in jail. Right? Insulting, to speak or treat someone with disrespect or scornful abuse. The need to be right, an irrational way of thinking, characterized by a person's need to always prove themselves right, often by proving others' actions and opinions wrong. So I was thinking more about this debate, right? And I was thinking how their goal was kind of to make me look dumb, and it definitely worked, right? I did look dumb. I got really nervous, got crashed out on stage a little. It happens, right? It happens to the best of us. And I was thinking about this a little bit more because, this was kind of an L for me. I am a bit embarrassed, but it just is what it is. But I was thinking about how Anna went up there. She might have won the debate, but she proved why men don't want to be married. And the person in the chat said, Pearl, money can't buy happiness. Well, it depends if there's a nagging wife in that big house. There's a lot of rich men imprisoned by their nagging wives. And so what keeps happening is women keep proving the red pill right, and men don't even have to argue it. Me, I'm like the DEI hire, right? I mean, in a way, I know you guys support me. You say it's not just DEI, but there's so many men that are smarter than me, better debaters, more intelligent. But I know that these guys are correct, because when I heard this information, it really made everything in my life and that I'd seen my entire life make sense. It made it make sense why men just look so depressed when they're married. It made it make sense why every girl I knew growing up figured out that their mom was crazy around 16. I knew one girl. I mean, her dad was a soldier and he was deployed all the time. And when she was 16, I mean, all the lies she heard growing up about her father, he comes back from deployment. She's like, he's pretty cool. And generally speaking, women think that they have authority over men to tell them what to do. It's why, I really don't like telling men to do anything, because men look at the cost and the benefit, or the cost and the benefit of something, and pick themselves. I don't really have to tell men not to get married. They're just not going to do it, right? I don't have to tell men not to, save a woman in the streets. They're just going to stop, right? Men can do that on their own. They don't need a mid woman at that, to tell them what to do, right? And so, but what happens is women, they have a tendency to go on these stages and show men exactly why they don't want to get married. And I keep thinking about this debate. My manager says to just move on, stop talking about it. But do you know what? There was so many just moments where she really revealed her cards, right? Where I might have looked nervous or dumb or whatever, but she revealed the way she feels about men. And feminists will deny this, but we look at their actions and even what they say when pressed. And I was barely pressing, right? And men just naturally are going to make the decision. So I actually don't think men are necessarily afraid of getting married and getting divorced, right? I think most men can deal with a divorce and recover. It's not even necessarily about the money, because their wives' spending habits are so bad that a lot of men get on child support and still have more money left over. But what men do fear in marriage is being trapped in a sexless marriage with a nagging, bitchy wife that talks to them the way that Anna spoke to me. And so it's really interesting because, she's going to say she won, and she did, right? And do the victory lap. But because she was a bitch, she proved why men don't want to get married. Because she nagged, because she used shaming, guilt, insulted me, need to be right. Then on top of that, she embarrassed her husband publicly. She said that I was responsible for what she said. I'm like, I didn't make you say that, ma'am. She called she implied her husband was a couch surfing bum when she met him. She could have said former professional athlete. She said couch surfing bum. And is so out of touch that she doesn't see the problem with that. And, again, men aren't going to say anything. They just watch and silently make decisions. So let me play this compilation. All right, let's see. We're gonna look. If she proved her point, you won. Look, I don't really care if I won or lost, because that doesn't really matter, right? It matters. I just want to know what's true. I don't have an ego in this, right? I really don't. I don't need to be right. I want to know what's correct. And that's really the point of my whole platform is growing up. All these commentators just confuse you. And I'm going to show how they manipulate the statistics. Because I couldn't believe how much she manipulated her stats to have the ego to yell at me. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is incredible. This is incredible. Okay. All right. Now, and you guys can watch this and see. This is the type of nagging, and this isn't just her, that makes men not want to get married.
You're ridiculous.
Can I make this bigger?
Ridiculous. Next, move
wait,
on.
You said it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous,
That it's a privilege to stay home with your
coming
kids.
from a girl who grew up in an affluent situation with incredibly wealthy parents. You don't know anything about struggling economically or.
And it's like you do. You're a podcast talker. Do you know what I mean? Sorry. Okay.
Or financially.
You know what?
So to tell,
I'm not going to be able to not. I love, people were trolling me. They're like, Pearl's used to the mute button. I love the mute button because what women do is they scream louder than you. And then whoever screams gets the most in. Yeah. I mean, that's how they win. They scream louder. And that's how marriage is. Yeah.
tell a single mother who decided to stay home and raise her children instead of work that she doesn't deserve a penny to raise her kids after a divorce is the most privileged piece of shit thing to say.
Do you see me? I'm like standing there like this is the nagging. Are you saying men should never get married? How does a man know if his girl is safe to marry and won't steal his money? And so what happens, he doesn't, it's up to the man. And by the way, I am so proud of my background. I am so proud of my father. There is nothing this woman could say to me to make me feel bad about where I come from. Look at, I'm sitting there. And here's the thing. The women, because women are bitches, right? They clip this, and because they don't like me, they think they won. Because they want to see someone scream at me, right? Because they can't stand me. So this is very exciting to them, which is fine. I understand that. I do understand that. But again, you're showing, because men aren't stupid, right? They know you can't necessarily turn that off at home. A lot of the commentators pretend they're like a joy to be around. This is, there's a reason I haven't taken as many debates in the last 2 years. Because I'm not really fun to be around before and after these. I get stressed before. After, I'm like a little embarrassed. I get like the ups and the downs. You definitely bring this stuff home to your boyfriends and husbands. There's no, like, I'm the only one that's honest about this stuff. There's a reason I don't take the high stress stuff as much anymore. The only number you needed was Kentucky divorce rate dropping by 25% after 50-50 custody. No other stats would have meant anything. Do you know what? I got tripped up, and I said this last time because I knew she was just going to keep going, and there was going to be some number that I didn't know the name. Names are going to be the death of me. I don't remember people's names. I don't remember, like, if someone tells me a story that I meet on the street, or if I read a study, I'll remember the study and the story for the rest of my life. I have like a great memory for that. But for whatever reason, names, bruh. And they all know it. They know they can get me on this. And that's why I froze. Yeah, I did. So, all right. So, but look at, when she speaks like this, women are going to see it and cheer because they're like, oh, this is amazing. I love seeing Pearl get obliterated. But men are going to see it and say, wow, she's kind of mean, Except black guys. They're kind of simps,
Let me ask you something, Pearl.
Men.
Would you be willing to marry a guy who's poor?
Men.
Because I married a guy who was in debt and loved the hell out of him. Best thing in my life.
So remember, she could have said, here. She could have said, I married an ex-MLB baseball player. And, after the reason I actually clipped this, so after the debate, I said, if I took an L in this debate, Anna's husband took 2. He's the biggest loser of this debate. And she goes online and she says, oh, Pearl, she was a good sport, but she attacked my husband. And I'm like, Anna, you have never paid attention to what men want or care about, that you don't even understand how much you're humiliating. You're humiliating your husband by describing him this way. And do you know how I came to that conclusion? I was trying to read during this, so I wasn't really listening. When women nag to a certain point, I tune it out. But like 3 guys came up to me after the show and said, why did she roast her own husband? I'm like, Anna, I didn't do this to you. I did not.
Would you marry a guy who is broke,
that's very
no
nice,
career,
Anna.
and
I dated a homeless guy. No, I didn't, but that's what they say, right? I almost said that there. I almost said it. I know. Professional debaters know how to play the audience. I know they do. They do. And the professional debaters in a way are just professional naggers. They just know how to nag. Like that's their,
in debt.
That's very nice, Anna.
Would you?
So I'm going back
Answer
to the
question.
topic.
Would you marry a broke guy in debt?
All right. So we're going back to the
Would
topic.
Would you?
All right. This is the nagging. This is the nagging again. Okay. So
what did I say? Go ahead and quote me. Go ahead and quote me, because you make shit up.
Yeah.
And you just think like it's going to stand.
Now remember, and I'm going to show you guys later. Look at the authority she's screaming this at me. She's saying I make stuff up. This is such confidence, such authority. And I'm going to show you how she manipulated her stats. It's such bullshit. These people, they don't care. That's the thing. I'm totally willing to be proven wrong. But what drives me nuts is when they say this stuff with such confidence that I'll think that they're right. And then after I'll look into their stats and I'm like, why would you even quote that? But they'll never submit their stats ahead of time so I can look into it. So it's like, anyways. Yeah.
You've never had a strong woman challenge your bullshit assertions. So go ahead and tell me, what have I complained about?
Okay.
Give me the quote.
The nagging. You said women's opinions are not taken seriously.
Women are 85%. Women are
85% of consumer spending. We lead when it comes to luxury brands.
Men have more mortgage debt, car loan debt, personal credit card debt,
right? Because they're
expected
to provide. Women make 80% of consumer buying decision. Again, if feminine and women put their expenses on their husband's credit card. Yeah. Feminists really cared about equality, they would provide for the men.
Come on. All right, first of all, I know you've missed me, Mark. First of all, this study was conducted by mostly men. And when men conduct anything, they talk about their finances because men judge themselves by the size of their wallet, toys, dare I say. So you put all your toys together in a parking lot and it makes you happy. If they were to ask other questions in this study about spirituality, about the other aspects of our lives, that women would have taken over. First of all, a woman hits her sexual prime at 35. Things get much better for us.
Hey, I'm 35. This is good for me. All right, Mark, all right, go nuts, because I know you're going to go nuts.
It's not like men are given advice that is not on morality. It's not like there's a special morality just for men when it comes to sex and a special morality for women. The sexual morality that we're given, not by me, not by you, by God and natural law, God's natural law, and also you can see it through divine revelation and the tradition of the church, is a morality for both men and women, married and unmarried. And its core is chastity, which is virtue. Men are called to it and women are called to it. And when men aren't living virtue or women aren't living in virtue, both of them can become increasingly haywire. We hurt each other. Then the war of the sexes commences. So speaking against porn is not just about men, it's about men and women.
Yeah, I think that you will lose more people than you help, because no men want to be nagged by women about what they should and shouldn't do. And as I've said before, any woman that tells men what to do is a feminist, because you're applying that you have authority and you are equal. So again, all these women, right, they're pushing marriage, saying marriage is so good. And yet then they nag and they tell men what to do. And then don't understand why men don't. It's like a circle, right? It's like it just never ends. And I don't think you are. So I would say we are subordinates.
Well, I think men and women are made equal in dignity before God, and they're both made in the image of God.
Do you believe in the
But
natural? Do you believe in the natural order?
If I can ask you a question, would it be okay if I ask you a question?
Do you believe in the natural order of the world?
I absolutely do. Would it be okay if I asked you a question?
So that would be a hierarchy, correct?
It includes order and hierarchy. Yes, I agree with that.
So again, it just goes back to the same question. The war of the sexes, I would say, is women challenging men's authority. And I would argue that you are the same as a blue-haired feminist. Because by nagging and telling men what to do, you are doing the same thing. You are implying that you are equal, which is what feminism fought for. So anyways, I will unmute you, but I do want to show. Yeah, because you see, everyone's like, Pearl is so used to muting her guests. I'm like, yes. Because whenever it's in person, they just talk over me. They just talk louder. They talk over me. And you'll notice this on panels, right? I saw this panel with Destiny, and it was like Destiny and like 3 other people. And Destiny's obviously the dumbest one up there. He's a streamer, crashing out. And you can't hear. This is always how it goes. Because, again, smart people just tend to walk away. They just are like, well, they're not going to listen anyway. Let me go. You know. Like, I asked my dad if he wanted to go to this debate, and he said, I'd rather do anything else. My dad is the smartest person I've ever met in my life. You guys have no idea. You guys have but my dad's the type, he lets people do what they want because he doesn't want to waste his time. So that you are also interrupting me. So
yeah, Pearl, muting your guests is a very disrespectful thing to do.
Okay, and I'm going to do it again. Yeah, again, you can nag these simps. You can't nag me.
All
right.
I don't know how much she's muting me. So if she's just going to keep muting me, I don't know. There's a point of being able to have a discussion. Okay. So I don't know how much she's joking about muting me constantly. I don't know. I don't see her muting, so I don't know how much she's doing it. But it might make sense to have the conversation if she can't have it in good faith.
Yeah, you can.
It's a really bad faith conversation.
It's such gaslighting because I always come in good faith. It's these women that just talk over you. But they don't. This is the problem. Women go through life not understanding how unlikable they are. Unpleasant. Horrible to be around. Yeah.
If she's just going to mute.
I'm having a good faith. The problem is, here's the challenge, actually.
Can you hear me? Am I muted or not?
You get to go on these shows and you do over.
Can you hear me?
Monologue, and you're kind of used to doing it. So it's again.
Pearl, can you hear me right now?
Signaling.
Pearl, are you listening? Can you hear me? Okay.
I do hear you.
If you continue to mute me, I don't even know when you're muting me or not. I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with you. I don't think you're acting in good faith right now. So I'm gonna have to end the stream with you if you're gonna continue to mute me.
Yeah, you can't stop me. Look, it's either submit to the rules of the show or don't. Okay, I'm always waiting for these feminine women to show me their submission, and they just never can.
So are you going to continue to mute me during our conversation, or is it going to be a good faith conversation?
If you overtalk me, I will mute you. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to have to close out then, because I think you need to let your audience decide who's over talking who.
All right. See ya.
See a live stream running. You think it's a good idea to start doing this shit?
Well, I didn't do this shit. You started talking to me in weird.
Modern Life Dating just tipped $5. Hey, Violet, shut up. Shut up, Violet, shut up, Violet, shut up, Violet. Dot shut up, Violet, shut up, Violet, shut up, Violet. Dot shut up, Violet, shut up, Violet, shut up.
Yeah, because I'm not interested in you constantly projecting the disrespect that you're doing onto me, acting like I'm doing it. You started. The whole time I'm just trying to go out. I'm trying to
See, it's like a need to be right. What if he says you're right? Will she stop? This is why men don't want to get married. This is worse. Imagine. These women are worse than being poor. I don't know. You guys tell me. Would you prefer poverty or that woman in your house every day? Only children need to mute someone. Will call me a child, because every day I wish there was a mute button in real life. Why aren't I married? Well, I'm ugly, so can't help chopped, you know. I just ugly, annoying. I'm back. My bad. Ugly, annoying. I choke. It's just on stage isn't the only thing I choke. I'm sorry. I'm so messed up. That's not the only place I choke. Oh my God. I gotta stop. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my God. Okay.
and you just sit here and
You're trying to go out and you're trying to go have fun, then go do that. Okay?
I told you I
and
want to go out. And
you want to go out? You want to go out?
Go see Quavo. I told you, let's go together.
Go see Quavo. What the?
My God, that's what I'm saying.
Huh?
You twist my words. Like, what
Are
the
you serious?
fuck does that even mean? What do I have a crush on Quavo? Are you not insecure? What the fuck are you talking
You
about?
think that's what I was thinking?
I don't fucking
It's just
know.
like degenerate and trashy.
I don't,
Like,
well,
let me go
you're
see
the
Quavo.
one that
Like
fucking
what?
brought up to go to Quavo in the first
Rap?
place.
It's like
I have just
girls
been
listening to rap is
continuing,
disgusting.
Hey, let's just go have fun. Same thing as the problem earlier. Let's just go have fun. And you want to make this weird vibe all the time.
You're spiking
No,
your
I don't give a
cortisol.
fuck. Your cortisol is spiked all the time. And I'm chill.
Steal the second that you.
I mean, this is the type of nagging that drives men to suicide. This is it. So they wonder, they're like, why don't men want to get married? Well, all right. So I'm going to do one more thing today. I'm kind of torn because I want to react to more parts of the debate, because there was so much stuff that if you listen carefully, she admitted to. But I think the more I do it, the more it seems like I'm coping. But I fully accepted the outcome of the debate. I fully accept it. However, I do think she proved a lot of my points. So, what do you guys think? Is it bad if I do more streams talking about the debate, but like concepts, like this one, the nagging. So anyways, all right. So I'm going to read some of the stats she talked about and how they were deceptive. All right. So one of the things she talked about was how women are 47% of the workforce. Now, she did not cite a source, even though she did come at me for not saying my sources, but it is accurate. But she does leave out something I think is important, and I would say this is pretty deceptive. 23 to 25% of the 47% are working part-time. That includes stay-at-home moms who might work between 1 to 2 days a week, compared to 12 to 15% of men. Women are about 60 to 70% of part-time workers. So it's deceptive to throw out the 47% number like it's something to boast about, as if men and women have reached parity in workforce contributions. The other issue too is this includes like OnlyFans. Like, is sucking dick the same thing as building a bridge? You know? The Council of Economic Advisors, women contributed a substantial amount to economic growth since 1970. Yes, primarily because of wage suppression. Increasingly from 1970 onward, women have been pressured into post-secondary education. I mean, I guess pressured is kind of strong. I should say women want a whore at college, so they choose to go. And the workforce right out of high school, flooding the labor market, lowering wages employers have to offer in order to find skilled and unskilled positions. Sure, these employers can reinvest the extra money they make at the expense of the decline of purchasing power of the average person into further business ventures in the stock market, growing GDP. But it is GDP growth at the expense of real wage and standard of living of the average person. It's why these cigar chomping patriarchal white male capitalists in the 1960s and 70s put up no resistance to the idea of women entering the workforce. It meant considerably more profit. Meanwhile, good luck buying a house or an average wage in 2025. Women in the workforce wasn't really a victory. It was a capitalist one. Feminists became cheerleaders for an economic trend that profited the exact same people in the exact same system they claim to hate and resist. Women are responsible for 40% of GDP, and notice how this is lower than 47%. And again, wage suppression is a hell of a thing. This includes OnlyFans, dental hygienists, and corporate girl bosses contributing to the GDP. Okay. Okay, but the worst one, and I just could not believe the confidence this was spewed at. And I'm going to go through more this week. But I just, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to come at me, I just expect your stuff to be really good. So she cites the $440 a month. And her source was a blog post, Investopedia. That was her source. $200. Thank you. When the devil can be there himself, he will send a woman. You found out. I know. They treat me like they treat men. I just couldn't believe it. All right. Here's the problem with the $440 per month figure. The number doesn't include when the husband buys groceries, clothes, or pays the wife's bills rather than sending her a cash payment. It does include husbands who are unable to pay the court-mandated amount because of unemployment or low wages. It doesn't include husbands who are unable to pay because they are incarcerated, sometimes for not paying child support. It doesn't include child support payments that were not court mandated, but agreed upon in private arbitration. Which is the majority of custody agreements, and are being paid out. It doesn't include the husbands who refuse or evade child support because they feel the deal is unfair. A paternity fraud, a one-night stand where she lied she was on the pill. It averages the vast mass of women who have one kid on the $441 per month, with women who have multiple kids and get considerably more in-court mandated child support. $441 a month is plenty in a low-income household to feed and clothe one kid, in addition to whatever social support a woman may be getting for food, housing, electricity, and a plethora of other welfare. The $441 per month figure is a sloppy number that is derived from the raw Census Bureau data that does not reflect the complexity of a variety of situations, which is why serious inquiry into the subject is done by simulated calculations, which conclude that the national average for child support payments is $721 per month, considerably more. So, like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, why would you come at me when you're like, I would just expect your stuff to be clean. But you don't see feminists quoting that figure. It also varies widely by state. For instance, the average child support paid per month in Massachusetts, according to more rigorous calculations, is $1,187. So no, women aren't hard done in divorce court, and plenty of men get financially raped and threatened in jail while being reduced to spectators in their children's lives. Okay. Her next claim is only 60% of court-mandated child support is paid out, and she took a lowball figure. It's more like 70%. And that 30% includes the dads who pay for groceries, bills rather than a cash payment. It includes those men who refuse to pay because of a variety of reasons: paternity fraud, wife has hidden sources of income off the books, or they barely knew the woman before she got pregnant. And it includes the vast majority of poor effers who can barely afford food and shelter themselves, much less scratch together hundreds of dollars in child support a month. Consider that the average income for full-time workers is currently $63,000 per year. If we include U.S. adults who are unemployed or part-time, that average drops to $50,000 per year. The crude average, Anna quotes, amounts to $5,292 per year, or 10% of the average adult income. And the actual national average child support payment, $721 amounts to $8,652 per year, or 17% of the average adult's income. On top of which, you've got to pay rent and feed yourself. As a lefty, you'd think she would care about the poor and the unfair and sometimes impossible financial demands the government places upon them, but she doesn't care because they're men, basically. 95% of custodial agreements are made outside of the courtroom, implies dads are getting effed over by implying that dads getting effed over by a biased divorce court is a tiny minority and barely worth mentioning. Firstly, she's slightly puffing up the numbers here. 90% of custodial agreements are made outside the courtroom, not 95%. So we've already doubled the number. 1 in 10 divorces with children's custody battle goes to court, and the wife gets sole custody 85 to 90% of the time. But let's break down the remaining 90%. 49% are custody agreements made between lawyers, mediators, where the husband surrenders full custody to the mother. This can be amicable, but as standard procedure, the husband's divorce lawyer will advise him to agree with the negotiation and avoid court, where he's likely to lose custody anyway, in addition to a whole lot more in terms of asset division, mandated child support, and possible alimony. Essentially, the husband gets railroaded into surrendering custody because it is widely known that in a biased divorce court, he is likely to lose, and lose hard, unless his wife is a high-risk convicted felon or meth addict or something dire. So despite her implications, no, settling outside of court is not necessarily a sign that all is fair and well in custody agreements. Not when a biased divorce court is cudgel with which a wife can threaten her husband. 16% of custody agreements made out of court that see the father getting full custody of his children, possibly because the mother is so blatantly and obviously unfit, something akin to the examples given above. 22% are agreements made out of court either to have joint custody or split custody. These can be amicable, or like sole female custody, they can be surrenders made by the husband because he has a lot more to lose. About 2.5% of agreements are those made out of court with no formal designation of a custodial parent or joint or split custody without anything on paper. The parents just figure out the shit for themselves. So the real number is 2.5%, has no court intervention. But you see, when they scream these numbers at me. I never really know. It's like, it takes me a day to figure out what they're quoting. Anna tried to accuse Jimmy Dore of some type of Me Too accusation, allegedly. You may have lost the battle, but you won the war. I was wrong about you, and I'm sorry. Thank you for supporting me. Look, it is what it is, right? I don't really have an ego in this. What's important to me is that the information's accurate. And I get really frustrated because these commentators want to be right so bad, they don't care if it's accurate. And if you care about accuracy, you not only look at the facts, the data, and the statistics, but you go interview people in the industries, right? And you're going to get a very different view when you interview people. And I do this all the time. I never stop working. Like, I went to dog daycare, and I'll ask the people at dog daycare, like, what percent of the people that come here are women? Because I had to, I don't put my dog in daycare all the time, but I just, when I travel, right? So that, again, that's what's important to me. All right. So no, the 90% figure, which Anna says is 95%, is not the gotcha she thinks it is. In over half of cases, the husband may be agreeing to settle out of court because he knows that if he goes before a judge, he's likely to get effed over. It is certainly well known in law circles that the husband does his damnedest to avoid court. She then goes on to claim women get custody 40% of the time, using a lowball figure from a small sample taken from Wisconsin in 2008. Other data suggests full custody is up to 80% of the time, in which most data around 50 to 60% of the time, female full custody for all custody agreements, not just those decided in court. It varies year by year, jurisdiction by jurisdiction. In custody battles in court, it's awarded to the mother 85 to 90% of the time. 40% of the time is shared custody. You have to cut that in half. And all agreements, including out of court, it's 20 to 25%. 40% is BS. Her intern did the sloppy math from the previous two figures. She implies shared custody is 50-50 when in fact it's 20 to 25%, and it can be 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. It's not quite the ideal situation in the cases, she says. It's interesting to know that they need to whitewash divorce statistics when most people acknowledge divorce courts are biased. One more point on the in-court and out-of-court thing. If divorce courts weren't prejudiced against men in favor of women, you'd likely see more than 10% escalated to court. So again, this kind of choked me up because, do you know what I'm saying? Like, she's quoting these numbers and they sound super off, but, and she's screaming at me. And I'm the type, I want to look in, I want to look into them, but I can't on a stage, right? Because she refused to submit them ahead of time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so anyways, it's just a little annoying, okay. Oh, here's the next one. All right. She claimed a massive study out of Massachusetts looked at 24,000 divorces. Only 8% of the cases did the men ask for custody, to make it seem like men don't give an F about their children and wouldn't want 50-50 custody, even if offered. This is BS. She gleaned from online misinformation rather than an actual study. It's derived from the 1989 Report of Gender Bias Committee of Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. It's nearly 40 years old with some controversy around it. The report did not look into 24,000 divorces, not even close. It looked at the data from Middlesex Divorce Research Group, which in turn examined 700 divorce cases, not 24,000. The inflated number comes from bullshit spewed in online forums. Of the 700 cases, the MDRG found that only 8.3% of them did the man formally request for sole legal custody. The 8.3% has been criticized for 4 decades. In those cases, men specifically went for sole custody because they deemed the mother unfit to take care of the kids. A further 14.5% of fathers requested joint custody, a total 22% where the father made the specific formal request, already much larger than 8%, and they did not need to make a formal request in all cases. On top of which, there's all the cases where fathers voluntarily surrendered custody, either amicably or under duress. And in addition, large number of cases where the father was awarded sole or joint custody, he did not need to formally put in a request. These cases where sole and joint custody were awarded but not requested weren't counted in the 8% and the 14.5% statistics. Modern criticism of the report also points to the low statistics that may have been from a sense of futility, even putting in the request, since judges are likely to rule in favor of the mother. She presents this 8% figure as if only 8% give a shit about their children. Ergo, they should be compelled to pay child support because they wouldn't take the 50-50 custody, even if they were offered it. This was paternally false. It's just 8% who specifically put in the request for sole custody. This seems intellectually dishonest. I note she deliberately omits the date of the stat and is vague about the Massachusetts source. She might be deliberately trying to deceive the audience at this point, since the 24,000 is bullshit and she distorts an out of context 8%. Either that or she's just ignorant. Either way, the 8% statistic is from a 700 case sample size and has not been replicated since. Hence, they need to go back to 1989 to find it. All right. She says women can't enter the workforce because they don't have a recent job history. That's the next claim. Only 20 to 25% of married women with children and stay-at-home moms these days are stay-at-home moms these days. 75 to 80% of moms do have recent job history. Women need to face the consequences of their choices. They can get married, they can stay home, etc. So it's just, do you know what's frustrating to me? This always happens to me. It's why I hate debates. It's they say their sources so confidently, and then I look into them after. And there's always a catch. Always a catch. All right, let's see. I could go through the women getting fat in marriage, but I think we all have eyes here. She said that men get equally as fat. There's conflicting studies on that. I just have eyes. I mean, I see all the women getting fat after. I could go through them if you guys are really interested, but to me, I just, it's too in the weeds. Let's see. I think those are the ones I'm going to go through tonight. Anyway, so for the people that actually care, oh wait, hold on. We're in the works of making a website, and this website is gonna have every single stat I've ever quoted ever. So when I do these debates, I can just say it's on my website because I'm just sick of this bullshit. They gotta submit their sources ahead of time. I cannot look into these claims in the middle of a debate. I can't. So in the future, I'm gonna insist. I tried to insist, but I said, okay, fine, But I do think there's people on here that actually are curious what the numbers are. So it's coming. If any app developers, we're accepting quotes now. I'm hoping to make a decision by the end of the month on our documentary editor and app developer. So if anybody's out there that does that for a living, just pearlythings@gmail.com or Doug at theaudacitynetwork.com. Doug is the one. Oh, I might have just got something. Oh, wait. Doug is the one who is going to choose. I said, I trust you, Doug. Domestically. Someone asked someone's asking me if I have a sales position. Not maybe soon, but no, not right now. Right now, I just need an app developer and I need a documentary editor. And Doug is the final decision maker on that. So, but you need to work fast. Some people are telling me they need like 2 weeks for a quote. I'm like, you're just not going to be my you're not that interested. I don't think, are women capable of being their own mental point of origin? Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, the debates need to have a fact checker panel, because the worst part of this whole thing was I had them all right there again. But I realized when I was up there, I thought I was so smart. I'm like, I'll have all my facts right here. And then I realized that I had so many sources right there that I couldn't find any. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I was like, no, I didn't think about that. Did I write all the papers? So I'll tell you my process. I write my shows. I write my openings. I write my closings. Sometimes Doug MPA will help me find stuff. I mean, he's done a few scripts for me. But I get the most intelligent, like, when it comes to fact checking, I'll look into stuff, but I certainly double check my work. Right? I mean, I get the best and the brightest. Like, there's a lot of men that have been fired from academia that, like, I mean, they're really, really intelligent, but they get blackballed in these industries, and they can show you how they manipulate the stats. So yeah, I mean, I have a guy like that on our team, but I don't hide it. All of these places do, right? So I'm more honest, right? I just say, look, this is what it is. Yeah, I know. I learned. Oh, trust me. Bruh, you don't understand. I spent days researching this. So anyways, what do you guys think? Do you think I should just do a different topic moving forward? But there's so many clips that I can just make monologues off of. Do I want to do surrogacy? No. No. I do need to drink more water. I do. Anyways, All right, guys. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you can, I'd appreciate it. And I love talking to you. Thank you for the support. And we're going to keep going. So this train is not stopping. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.